Shabbat Shalom. You ever have just one of those days, just a bad day, and you go to your person to vent about your bad day, whatever the work it was that made it so hard, or the people who frustrated you, or the problems that came up, and your person, your spouse or a friend, your parent, your sibling, whoever, goes, oh, well, have you tried XYZ? Or, you should, blah, blah, blah. Or see, what you could do is yada, yada, yada. And you get really annoyed with them. Like, were you even listening to me? You were already in a bad mood. And now it's even worse. And now they're annoyed. And the whole thing's a mess. It's not really a mess, though. It's miscommunication. It's a tale as old as time. You weren't looking for solutions. You just wanted to be listened to. In the Torah this week, Moses goes up the mountain, go get that Torah. But Torah making is a process, and it takes a while. And that's when the problems start. When the people saw that Moses was so long in coming down from the mountain, the Torah tells us, the people gathered around Aaron, saying, Come, make us a God who will lead us. For that fellow Moses, we don't know what happened to him. And so Aaron makes what? The golden calf. Y'all are listening. Which is an egregious sin. The calf, not the listening. Aaron collects gold. He asks for all the men. The women don't give it up, which is why we get one day off every month, Rosh Chodesh. Just saying. Anyway, he builds the golden calf, saying, Ele Elohecha Yisrael. This is your God, O Israel. Hold on. The golden calf is supposed to be a substitute. That's the role here for this thing. Aaron is very clear who is being substituted. What is the substitute he's making? God. Ele Elohecha, he says. Here is your God, O Israel. Here is your calf. And then he literally builds an altar next to it. Now, in fairness, the people, when presented with this golden bovine, do rush to worship it. But what was it, if you recall, that they asked for? Elohim asher yelchu lefanenu, a God to lead us. Now, they do say God, to be fair, but they're not asking for something to worship. They're asking for someone to lead them. And therein lies, says the Ramban, Nachmanides, not Maimonides, the real sin of Aaron and the golden calf. The people didn't want a God to worship. We know this, he says, because when Moses comes down the mountain, they just abandon the thing without even being asked to. And when Moses burnt it up and ground it into powder, they don't try to stop him. If they really thought that thing was a god, if what they wanted was a god, and they thought they were built a god, the Ramban says, you think they would have let Moses live after destroying it? No. Aaron's sin with the golden calf was egregious enough that it barred him entry to the promised land, like Moses hitting the rock and Miriam's lashon hara. His sin was that he did not listen to the people. They didn't want a God to pray to, bow down, and offer sacrifices to. They were worried. Their leader, the man who took them from hundreds of years of slavery, was gone. The man who was sent by God to bring deliverance and redemption to them, who brought down plagues with his own hands, who argued with Pharaoh, split the sea in front of them, he was gone. And they felt lost and scared. And they said to Aaron, we need a leader. And he made them a god to worship. He wasn't really listening to them. He didn't really understand them. Aaron's sin was a failure of leadership. He heard them, but he didn't listen. They didn't want solutions, according to the rabbis. They were nervous. They were anxious. They wanted reassurance. They wanted to feel seen and heard. I think it's actually easier said than done doing this. How often when someone comes to us with a grievance, a complaint, and we spring into problem-solving mode, right? Let's fix it. And they remain unsatisfied. And we might think, well, gosh, they're so ungrateful. I had a good solution. I was being so helpful. But they didn't want solutions. They wanted to be heard. I had a teacher in a pastoral education class in rabbinical school, required, basically to teach you how to actually rabbi, how to be with people. And he said that when you're counseling couples pre-wedding, you have to teach them, when you're talking to each other, ask, do you want me to listen or problem solve? Do you want to vent, or do you want to strategize? That might sound silly now out of context, but imagine you're talking to your person about something that happened, and they give you the option. They say, listening or problem solving. I feel like a lot of miscommunication would be avoided if we did this. And I know that because as a rabbi, my job is to do both. The key is knowing which one is being asked of you. Sometimes I'll be talking to someone and I'll be offering solutions and trying to fix, and the other person is just as frustrated after that as when we started talking, if not more so. And that's when I realized, I went the wrong route. Wrong route. And if I'm smart, which happens every once in a while, before I start talking, I just ask, what do you need? Listening, problem solving. I think one of the reasons, though, that this is so hard for people, that Aaron committed so great a sin, is that, frankly, offering solutions is easy. And fixing problems feels really good. And it neutralizes the emotions of a situation entirely. Because if we're not fixing problems, then we're just sitting with the feelings of those problems and this person who's having them. And they're never pleasant feelings to sit with. Who wants to sit with someone else in their feelings of sadness or loneliness or frustration or anger? We don't like feeling those feelings. And problem solving, well, that just makes them go away. Except, as the incident of the golden calf teaches us, it doesn't really. Aaron's bandage over the emotionality of the Israelite situation doesn't hold. It ends with smashed tablets and a rampaging Moses, and Aaron never going to the promised land. Bandaging over feelings, ignoring them, pretending they're not there doesn't work because they're still there. And they have to be heard. Sometimes we do want solutions. We go to others, or others come to us for expertise or knowledge or skills. But sometimes what we want, what we need, is to be heard, understood. True leadership, true friendship, true relationships are formed on the foundation of knowing when which one is needed and it being a touchstone for both. Shabbat Shalom.
All right, thank you.